Welcome to Stories from the River, episode 369. Today our guest is recently promoted general manager of the Albemarle Aces, Jaylon Fisher.
Welcome to Stories from the River, a show in which we go behind the scenes at Broad River Retail.
Jaylon Fisher, welcome to Stories from the River. How you doing today, man?
Man, I'm doing good. Blessed to be here. Super excited to be sitting here talking with you, and then, just for where I'm at, just super excited.
Well, it's a great time to be Jaylon Fisher, the recently promoted general manager of Albemarle. You also just got married recently, right?
That's right. Super excited about that. That's probably the biggest thing. I've been with my wife for about 8 years, and to be able to, call her my wife now on camera is something that's pretty neat. And we did our honeymoon, and just super thankful for everything that Broad River's afforded me to be able to make this all come true.
Well, that's awesome. I heard you went to Paris, right, for your honeymoon?
That's right.
How was that? Tell me a little bit about Paris.
Man, I'll tell you, if Charlie hasn't thought about it already, we need to think about opening up Broad River Paris and getting the river going international next. But I loved it. It was such a beautiful city. The transportation system there is so neat for somebody like me who hates driving. I'm sure, I think Bradley actually mentioned it on the last episode. I hate driving. So if I could have just hopped on the train and ride to the store every day, I'd probably be the happiest guy in the world.
I'm with you on that. I don't like driving either. I think my anxiety of driving has only risen since I've moved to Charlotte.
No doubt.
And as we get more and more people, I feel you on that. I love to take the train every single day. So
yeah, it's nice.
It is nice. Yeah. So, all right, let's talk about you in your career arc, your career trajectory. Recently promoted, as I just said, to the general manager of the fabulous Albemarle Aces.
That's right.
Bradley's episode just came out, so this past week.
Yeah.
Even though we're filming this like a month in advance, but
For sure.
So talk to me about the transition to general manager. What have you been learning thus far?
In order to, I think, dive into where we're at now, it's definitely important to honor Bradley and everything that he taught me along the way. I mean, whenever he found me, I was not ready for the general manager position and told him that I had no interest in the job at that point in time. But he kind of helped show me really what Broad River is and showed me what was possible in the Albemarle location and what it would take and really what a leader looked like in Broad River. So super thankful for him to allow me the opportunity to do that, right? But it's been turbulent, I would say. Truly, we came out last month and we lit it up, and we had our one of our highest SPG months ever, and we finished above 800 SPG in that store, which is definitely something we're really proud of. But then this month, we've already had some of the peaks and valleys. This month hasn't been the way that we want it to be so far, and we got to own that and take the lumps. We took the praises whenever we were killing it, and now we got to take the downturn. So it's been pretty cool to kind of see the ups and the downs, and then just know that it's on me. Bradley would always say that I'm the solution and I'm in control. So putting that into practice is something that is the biggest thing that I've kind of learned and took away from the transition.
I'll go back to what you said at the beginning of your response. You said you weren't the person for the job, or you had no interest for it. I mean, how did your perspective change over time in stepping into leadership?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, prior to Bradley coming there, I mean, the Albemarle wasn't doing all that well. I mean, he came in and he was on a mission for sure, as far as getting back into Broad River after some time away and wanting to prove himself so he can get to where he ultimately wanted to be, which is the Cary location, which he's going to be fantastic there, I'm sure. So it was definitely a process for me to learn really how to be a part of a team in the Albemarle location, as there was kind of been like a carousel of folks through that location before, and it kind of felt like I was swimming alone. So to have somebody there, like, we're kind of rowing alongside me and showing me, like, really that it's a team sport, not necessarily individuals, and me getting out of my own way on all of that stuff was really, really instrumental to Bradley's leadership.
What do you think's changed, I guess, in the way that you approach the business, talking more about team?
I think it's kind of like what I was saying there is, like, before I always looked at it as like, I'm doing this, and this, versus like, what is the store doing? What's the team doing? How's everybody feeling? And what's like the culture like? There wasn't really really even a culture at all there. It was definitely more of just a bunch of individuals working in a box. And Bradley showed me that you really got to learn the people and focus on developing the people around you. One, it takes pressure off yourself. You don't have to carry the weight of doing it all solo if you're developing the people around you to be able to carry more weight, and then eventually everybody's kind of playing an equal part. So that was something he was super heavy on, was developing people, and it's something that I'm looking to carry on going forward. But yeah, just buying into the processes that we know is right.
How long did you or have you been with us, and how long have you worked at the Albemarle location?
Yeah, I've been with Broad River now right at 5 years, I believe, and I've been there in Albemarle the whole time. So it was pretty soon after the store had opened up. I think just a couple of months after store's grand opening that I joined the team. And yeah, I've been loving it ever since.
Well, how has that changed? How has just Albemarle as a whole changed in those 5 years that you've transitioned? You talked a little bit about more individual, more team, less individual, but just as a team, the store as a whole, have you seen other just changes overall throughout the store?
Yeah, I mean, I think really it's been just a one big peak and valley, right? It started out really strong whenever the grand opening came, and the city was excited about it, and because the community wasn't quite getting the promise of what we're supposed to provide to them for the first couple of years, it kind of tapered off a bit. And then Derek Davis came over to Albemarle with a little bit of new energy, and that started us, we could start seeing some possibilities there. And then Bradley came in, and we just blew it up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely been a slow ascent, and yeah, we're excited for what we're building going forward. But that's the big thing, is the community can kind of feed off the energy that you put out. And if you're not positive every day and you're really working for the best interest of the customer, they can sense how you're feeling, your personal frustrations or whatever else, and it comes through in every interaction. So that's the big thing, is people, I think, are just more excited now, and the community can feel it, and they feel, I feel like the store is an anchor in the community now.
The 2025 North American Ashley Store of the Year, what was it like being a part of that team to win that accomplishment?
Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, if you'd have told me 2-3 years ago that was something that was possible, I'd have been like, man, this guy's telling me nonsense, right? And we kind of felt that way the whole way through. It didn't feel real every single time that we accomplished like another top store of the month for AFI, and we got it in December for the first time, I think, of 24. And yeah, we got that, and we're like, man, we could actually do this again. So that became the focus every single month, was we were chasing something, and the whole team was part of it. And Stacy actually was talking about it this morning on our GM call, about like everyone's got to know the vision, and there was no doubt everybody came in every single shift knowing that their job was to contribute to us becoming the #1 Ashley store in North America, and everybody played their role really, really well. It was a pure team effort all the way down, and it was just super awesome to be a part of something like that. I mean, there was the individual parts of it all as well from everybody. Everybody played their own role, but to see everybody's role kind of culminate into such a larger, more grander, finish was awesome.
And a big part of your role in the team, you were the 2025 Sleep Sales Manager of the Year at Broad River Retail, right?
That's what they say.
That's
what
correct,
they say.
yeah.
For sure.
Talk to me about sleep sales, or what's something that someone, if you're a memory maker or working the sales floor and you're listening to this episode, what did you do in 2025 leaning into that process that just elevated your game?
Yeah, I mean, well, truthfully, it was, a lot of the pressure of execution and being the person that leads the way. It was we're not the heaviest traffic store. I had to maximize every single opportunity that we got in Albemarle. Every customer is vitally important to us, and I think that was kind of my thought with every single interaction that I had, is maximizing that. And Bradley always saying in my earpiece as I'm presenting a 3X tool or a pricing tool, was like, they will buy more, right, in my ear while I'm presenting it. And they did every time. So it was definitely a lot of pressure being the guy leading the way as far as revenue goes. And Bradley had super high expectations of everyone, but definitely even more so for me. And that's what kind of helped me grow. But yeah, it was stressful at times, but it was always sweet when it finished out the way that you wanted it to.
Set the stage for people that aren't familiar with Albemarle and just kind of the location, the area. What is kind of the daily traffic for you guys?
Yeah,
I talked about maximizing your opportunities.
For sure. Yesterday was a Sunday, so we saw 3 customers yesterday in the whole day, and we sold 2 of the 3. So it's really about, on average, you'll see 1 or 2 customers a day, and if you're lucky, you'll see 3 or 4 if it's a busy day. And yeah, it's all about connecting with that customer as early as possible. We don't have a big box either. I mean, the showroom's not that large, so if you don't connect with them right away, they'll hit the track and be out of the store before you blink. So it's really important to get that connect off at the door the right way, and luckily we have a really good process in place that, makes it a little bit easier and a little bit more mindless. You can just be yourself and fall back on the systems, and we do have really good systems in place.
You've mentioned him throughout this conversation, Bradley Sullivan. We just recorded with him recently. His episode was just out last week. What has he meant for your career, just as a whole?
Yeah, no doubt. He is instrumental in everything that I am, and some of his teachings I'll take with me for the rest of my life. The good and the bad. We loved it. I mean, it was awesome. We would butt heads at times, but normally we're always on the same page, and we both know each other's intentions, and that was, I think, was really important. There was never any gray area. We knew everything. Like whatever he was saying to me, we'd sit there and talk about it until either I understood or he got mad and walked away and came back. We'd figure it out. But yeah, I learned so much from Bradley, and I'm super thankful for the time that we spent together. And like he was at my wedding, and we said we'd always be connected, and that's just going to be the truth of the matter.
What's like the best lesson that he taught you about leadership or just in sales?
Yeah, I think really it's his high standards. Carrying yourself and the way that you present yourself every day in front of your customers, in front of your team, in front of the people that you love and care for. Just being a good partner all the way around. So showing up every day to give it your best and to execute on your promises. I think it was super, super neat to see like how he balanced like going after results as well as caring for the development of the people around him. And that's the big thing. So just making sure everybody in my life continues to grow and push themselves in a positive way, and then also just being there to care for them along the way whenever they do slip up. So I think that's something that Bradley did well. And it didn't always show up well, or it was always received well at times. Even like the love that you show. Sometimes people may not understand what you're trying to get across. And we had a meeting with Sean Sills recently as well, and you're 100% responsible for the way your message lands, and he would always circle back to close that circle whenever it didn't land the right way. Even if it took 3 or 4 times to have that conversation, y'all would always find the ultimate end goal, and that's something that I want to take away.
That's something that I'm working on, or that I've certainly been noticing, and that I'm trying to do my best at as well as kind of a new manager. Is you are ultimately responsible for how your message lands, and man, if it takes 3 or 4 times, that's what it takes.
For sure.
All right, talk to me about the current iteration of the Aces. What's special about the team in 2026?
Yeah, so we pretty much have a whole new squad, really. Yeah. I mean, Jose, the ace of spades, he just left the company and went back to the car game, and he was super vital to our success. He was fun. He kept everything light, but also gave great interactions to all of our customers. So he set the standard on how fun it should be. We sell furniture. We're not out here saving lives. Jose kept it fun, and it was always a good time when he was in the building. We've kind of replaced him now with Isaiah Taylor. He's a childhood friend of mine and has been with the River before, and he's kind of filled in that role to keep everything fun and light. But also he's a hammer. He's kind of filling in the revenue gap as far as me stepping from just a sales focused role into a sales like manager role, or general manager role rather. Isaiah's been awesome as far as filling in the expectation of revenue, and he's kind of what has came in Jose's space, right?
What card is he? I know everyone has an assigned card. What card is Isaiah?
Isaiah's the Jack of Diamonds. Bradley felt it was very important that Isaiah being an extension of me, as our relationship has always been super strong, that the Jack of Diamonds just made sense. He's there to kind of serve with me and to ride along my right hand. Mm-hmm. So he's been that so far, and has been super cool with helping our new hire, Daniel, who we haven't gave him his designation yet. He's actually starting the floor this week. He's in C4. The plan is to have him with his own designation by the end of the month. So we're working on that. I don't want it to be given lightly. I want to make sure that it really is a true and accurate fit for who he is as a person. And we also have a new lady, Michelle Molnaire, I believe is how you pronounce her last name. If I said it wrong, Michelle, I'm sorry. But she's super, super sharp. I think that she will be, when it's all said and done, a very vital and long-term member of the Albemarle Aces as well. She's coming in as an HFA, same as Daniel, and those two will bring some fresh energy as Lula Clark. She's the ace of clubs. She's looking to retire soon, and she's been the coolest person to work for and with and alongside. I've really enjoyed my time with Lula. She's the ace of clubs again. She's all about connecting with anybody. You could see some random guy just walking into the store looking for paper, as it used to be in Office Max, and she would connect with them. They'd talk for about an hour about nothing, and then 2 months later, that guy will come in looking for a sofa, and she'll be right there with them. She's awesome. And then we have Angie, the Queen of Hearts. She's the REM, and she's super sharp and lots of potential to be really great. And us learning each other and how to operate together in that same space is a big opportunity for us, as she worked mainly alongside Bradley in that operational and the GM role. So we're establishing our own relationship in that regard. But she's super sharp as well. And yeah, we have the team going forward that can really build a strong foundation and continue to build upon what Bradley has left for us and what we want to do.
Where do you see that you currently excel as a general manager and also in retail leadership?
One of the great things to ask. I mean, we really focus a lot on having fun and keeping it light. You know, we all have reasons for coming to work, and we all have to be there for one reason or another. Everybody has to provide for their family or get money to do whatever, fund their lifestyle they want to live. And I think the big thing is keeping it fun. I try to not take everything too seriously, but at the end of the day, we still do have our promises that we must maintain for Broad River and for the Ashley brand. And I think that's something that I'm trying to get better at is making sure that we're following up and executing on our promises. But really, making people feel safe and at home in their workspace is something that I think that we do a really good job of at Albemarle.
And you started to kind of answer my second question already, but where are some areas of opportunity or where are you focused on kind of growing as a leader right now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty young in my career. I'm 27 years old, freshly 27 years old, and I'm still learning everything. Mm-hmm. You know, the world's still so new to me, and these positions that I find myself are foreign to me every day. So really just trying to be a better person with each and every interaction, but truthfully just to show up for the people in my care, like we mentioned before, and making sure they do feel safe, and that's something that's super important to me, and I think you'll never master that. That's something that you got to continue to work on every day. But just also holding those high standards and that accountability for everybody in the team. Sometimes I can get a little bit laissez-faire, and I want to be somebody that's a little bit more consistent, and that they do know that there is expectations that the company has and that I have myself and that you should have for yourself. So being able to have those tougher conversations is something that I've worked on a lot as well and continue to work on.
First year as a general manager, what is going to be considered a success for you at the end of your first year?
Yeah, I think whenever I got the position, I kept thinking about maintaining the success that we've had, and that is something that's very important to me. But I've kind of shifted that lens and more of just continuing to build on the consistency of what we've done. I don't want it to be like the flash and the pans. I want to be consistent. So getting rid of the low lows and the high highs, I want it to be nice and consistent. If we can get to that level of consistency as we look at our KPIs and everything there, then I'll be pretty happy. But the biggest thing is for our staff to have been consistent and everybody to feel safe in their job. So that's success.
27 years old, at the helm of the Albemarle Aces. You're like a young furniture Sean McVay, if you're an NFL guy, young head coach. So love to see it. Anything that you want to leave the folks with before we sign off here? Any advice for folks that maybe they're an HFA and they're just starting out, but they see leadership as a goal of theirs? What would you have advice for those folks?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, and this is something that took me quite a while in my Broad River journey to understand it, and still I'm working to understand it better. It's that whenever someone's coaching you, they are coming from a place of good intentions. I've always been one to kind of misread messages and misinterpret the love that people were showing me by being truthful and speaking to the point. And it's to really understand that no one's trying to sabotage you, right? Everybody wants you to succeed. Everybody at Broad River is a culture of growth, and if you want it, you can go get it. I mean, they give opportunities out. It may not be as quickly as you'd like it to be, or whatever else, but you have to put in the work and show that you can handle it. And that's it. I think just just go into it with an open mind and just be ready to perform. And because it is a performance-based business, and your numbers will show that you're ready, or if you're not, and just go after it. You can do whatever you want to do as long as you dream it.
Well, I've always been rooting for you, Jaylon. I've always appreciated you. Always been kind to me in all our interactions. You know, even when at the Sleep Summit, when I'm like, "Hey, dude, what? Can you do an interview for me?" So I've always enjoyed working with you, and you know, I'm rooting for you, and happy. I'm interested and excited to see where you know, the Albemarle Aces go in the next chapter. So thanks for joining us today. That was Stories from the River, episode 369. We'll catch you next time.
Thanks for listening to Stories from the River. To check out more episodes, visit storiesfromtheriver.com. To watch this episode, go to youtube.com/@storiesfromtheriver. Join us again next week, and remember to like, rate, and subscribe to the podcast.